The game begins with a hunter on night duty, tasked with ghost hunting in a haunted house in the town. The hunter comes in the Ghost Hunting Inc. van, where his boss on call instructs him to capture the ghost in the house. He grabs some cameras and enters the house. The hunter sets up cameras in all the rooms. Afterward, following his boss's instructions, he returns to the van to get an EMF device and goes back inside the house to search for clues. Holding the EMF device, he checks every room. He spots a pentagram symbol on the floor of one room in the basement, but finds no other clues. Later, he hears the sound of glass breaking, so he checks all the bedrooms, but all the windows are intact. He then returns to the van to check the camera recordings, hoping to see something. However, nothing shows up on the footage. The boss tells him that the camera in the yellow bedroom was set at the wrong angle, so the hunter quickly goes back to fix it. After logging the evidence at the van's desk, he ends his shift and leaves. His boss is pleased with his work and expects good things for the next night. The following night, the boss asks him to gather evidence of communication with the ghost. The hunter grabs a spirit box from the van and checks all the rooms, eventually moving to the room where he saw the pentagram. The spirit box detects the ghost in that room. The ghost tells the investigator to leave the house, but the investigator asks why the ghost is staying there, causing it to disappear. The investigator returned to the van to check the camera recordings and noticed something had touched the door of one of the bedrooms. He then grabs a UV light to check for fingerprints. As he enters the bedroom, the lights go out. So he heads to the basement to reset the power box. While resetting it, he senses that the basement is the ghost's favorite place. He returns to the van to get DOTS projectors, and his boss urges him to hurry because the temperature is dropping in the basement. The hunter sets up the projectors in specific spots in the basement. As he heads back to the van, he encounters the ghost in the hallway, which tells him to leave. The hunter thinks he should probably leave for the day. After logging the ghost evidence at the van's desk, he leaves. The next night, the boss tells the hunter that he heard the ghost's voice on one of the spirit boxes. His task for the night is to check the EMF device again in the basement, especially in the room with the pentagram, to gather more evidence. As he uses the EMF device, a phone rings, and he rushes to the bedroom to answer it. Suddenly, the lights go out, and he sees a ghost on the bed telling him to leave the house. However, the investigator doesn't panic and tells the ghost he won't leave. He uses the UV light, and the ghost vanishes. The investigator returns to the van to check the camera recordings, but finds nothing useful. Determined, he grabs some crucifixes from the van and enters the house. He places 2 crucifixes in targeted areas of the basement. The investigator then spots the ghost hiding in one area and logs this evidence in the van. The following night, the boss says, this is the night to finally capture the ghost. He mentions that he heard strange activity on the monitor the previous night, so something big happened in the house. The hunter's task for the night is to communicate with the ghost again. He goes to the haunted room in the basement and uses the spirit box to investigate. As soon as he enters, he briefly sees the ghost before it disappears, missing his chance to capture it. He quickly checks the PC in the van and finds proof that the ghost is in the hallway. He grabs candles and lighters from the van and places them around the pentagram in the basement, lighting them all. A few moments later, he checks outside the pentagram room and sees bloody footprints. Seeing this, the investigator realizes that it's a demon, not just a regular ghost, and logs the evidence in the van. On the final night of his duty, the boss tells him that they've gathered all the evidence, and now it's time to summon the ghost and kill it for good. The hunter goes to the basement and lights the candles again. As soon as all the candles are lit, the ghost appears. The investigator traps the ghost, and the boss congratulates him on finally capturing it.